You are listening to Mad Chat with Chad and Matt.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mad Chat podcast. This is Mad Chat with Chad and Matt. This is the only gaming podcast on the internet that is hosted by the two of us, so you're here for something special. Why don't you introduce yourself, Chad?
What if I don't want to? No, I'm kidding.
That's a good point. So he's just going to hang out in the background. So
there is the reason why I am the Mad Chat. So
yeah. So so what this is just the two of us talking about games, gaming news, things related to such things, and it's just our personalities running off each other. So Chad, what do we have scheduled for today?
Well, we're going to be talking about all the stuff related to E3 and all the recent news since then.
Yeah, because it has not yet been a month since E3, so we're not too late, I don't think. So so what I want to do, Chad, tell me what interested you and what did not interest you during this year's E3.
EA's conference was probably one of the worst in recent memory that I can think of. There was just no originality to their content. It was, they didn't come out with anything swinging. It was just, I don't even know why they came to the conference, because they spent more money on the conference than what they're going to gain back in sales of the games.
What really interested me, though, is I felt like they came out swinging on the weirdest things, though. Like, Madden, like, they had some really weird esports trailer thing for this guy, I guess, the recent champion that no one had ever heard of. Like, it showed an event he was at, and there was like 6 people in the crowd watching. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
It had this like super pumped up trailer, and it was like inspirational music, and this guy was like, I lost last year, but I'm going to come back and win this year. And and then it showed him winning, and like it panned out to the crowd watching the event, and it's just like some guys on a couch or something.
I got a question. Is Madden esports like the WNBA of esports?
Oh my god. I think the WNBA actually has more fans.
It probably is more,
but
more popular.
And then what really I thought was a bold move was that they put the majority of the gameplay, actual gameplay footage, was for that mobile game, that Command and Conquer game. And one of those guys was actually a professional RTS player in Control, and this is what his life has come to.
So he could have, been League of Legends, those guys that win $250,000 worth in tournaments. He ended up being the guy that has to show off for the mobile game.
But to be fair, he did win that match. And I'm curious to know how much they paid him for that, because I'm sure they paid him a pretty fucking penny. So, he walked out, it was a win for him, but for EA, that was just, they were the laughingstock of E3, and it just sucks. Okay. The first moment when I absolutely just rolled my eyes and I knew this conference for them was not going to be good is when it was the Battlefield announce guys coming out, and they were like, we're bringing you something great. You guys have been asking for it. It's Royale.
Oh, I know.
And
yeah,
what he really, was like, if you go back,
he was so excited to say that they're bringing Battle Royale to.
Yeah, and if you go back and watch it again, I genuinely think he did not want to say it, because if just look at his body language and the way he gets those words out, like he was not wanting to be up there saying that, because he was just the guy bringing the Royale news.
Well, that, and it panned to the audience, and the audience was so shocked, and they weren't shocked because that's like, oh my god, this is what we wanted. They were so shocked, like, what?
It's just,
who asked for this, and are we supposed to clap now?
And like, God bless them, those crowds, they do their best to show support, and there were some cheers, but I really feel like if a crowd is really into it, you cannot tell how many people are cheering. It sounds like a whole crowd. When the Royale reveal happened, you could hear like 4 distinct voices saying, "Yeah, woo."
So, our launch in October is just the beginning. You will all go on an expanding journey through the Second World War. No loot boxes, no premium pass. Every day will bring something new. And as part of that journey, after launch, you'll get something I know a lot of you have been asking for.
It's Royale. It's...
You know what I want?
I could pick out like the 4 guys in the crowd cheering for it.
I want to see a poll on who was more shocked, the audience for the Battlefield 5 when they released the Battle Royale, or the Bethesda when they had Andrew WK just blaring out a concert, and everyone else was like, "What is going on?
What is happening?"
This E3 was amazing.
Yeah. Oh god. So EA. Oh, god, what else did they do? Did they reveal anything that you were interested in?
EA?
Yeah.
No, nothing.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm
The
trying
only
to
thing
think.
that I
Like
can really
Unravel 2
remember-
looked all right at best, and I'm sure it's a fun co-op game for like the short amount of playtime that you'll get out of it, because it's probably not that long of a game. So it just looks like a fun, decent co-op game. But if that's like, and from what I've been listening from other people, that's like one of the only things that they're saying was good about the EA conference. And if that's what you got, then you didn't have a very good conference. Like, I'm trying to think of something. I can't.
It felt like to me that they were showing off more of their like indie type games than they were their AAA titles. I mean, they're still trying to, God bless them, they're still trying to do Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and
I mean,
I'll give them credit for at least sending the guy out there and saying, we fucked up and we're bringing you a bunch of more content. But at this point, I'm just not going to buy the game. Even if they are giving away the content, I'm just like, it's out of principle, like they did what they did. So now I've got to stick to my guns, and I'm not going to buy the game. So it's just one of those too little too late situations. Although one of my roommates loves the game, so he'll probably get that.
I'm sure it's a great game, but I don't want to give them money, because if you give them money now, they think possibly they can bring it back. Kind of like, I don't know if you remember the whole paid mods controversy back when Skyrim tried to do paid mods on Steam. That was such a backlash. It didn't last but maybe a month. I don't remember exactly how long it lasted. And then they completely did away with it. Well, people kind of like, all right, well, they tried that. They kind of forgave them, and really wasn't much below the surface. And then they brought the Creation Club. So they reiterate and brought it back in a different light. And I think that's possibly because people didn't give them, they did give them their negative feedback, but it wasn't like overwhelming to where they were losing money, because at that point everyone had already purchased Skyrim, right?
Yeah.
If you already have the mods,
if you already have Skyrim, the game,
you don't have the option to go back and sell the game, because you can't sell PC games back. So there wasn't much they could do except voice their opinion, and they couldn't vote with their dollar because, like I already said, they already paid for it. So once the controversy died down, they were, the main heads in Bethesda were coming up another way, because they wanted
make
to
a new
do
fancy name for it, call it a club.
And don't call them paid mods, call them mini DLCs.
Yeah.
So
very clever over there at Bethesda.
Yeah.
I guess we do need to, before we move on from EA, we have to talk about Anthem, because that's basically the only thing they have going for them right now that might possibly turn their ship around. But from what I've seen, it looks like, because I'm done judging games by like gameplay trailers and demos and stuff, because you can always make that look however you want. That's just a very tiny
Ubisoft.
It's a very tiny fraction of the game, and it's exactly what the developer wants to show you. So Destiny also.
I'm sorry, I know you and Corey loved Bungie growing up. That was like Bungie was
We loved
your
Bungie
developer.
because they made Halo and those games were good. As soon as they started on Destiny, I was a fanboy, so I jumped right in and I played the beta and I was like, wow, this is awesome. The main game's surely going to have so much more content, and then it didn't.
Can you even tell me the story of the first Destiny? Because I don't know it at all.
It's very vague. It's there, but it's so vague that you can just change. Like, basically, there is the light versus the darkness, and there's some aliens in there, and the aliens are bad, and you're good because you're the light. So that's basically all there is to it.
Oh boy,
it's been so long since I played it. I didn't even bother with Destiny 2 because I knew that it was going to be more of the same, and I was right. So
yeah, I'm glad I didn't. But that's kind of what Anthem looks like to me a little bit. Kind of like almost like not basically a Destiny clone, but kind of like
along the same line.
Yeah, kind of like how Saints Row is to Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, similar,
like
but it's got its own differences.
Yeah, but kind of more like it's little
it's got
brother,
its own flavor,
but not as good.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Hall of Famer's son, you know.
Yeah, he's got a mean hook shot, but he's no Michael Jordan, you know.
Good old Terry Jordan, you know.
But this is like that's a comparison for Saints Row to GTA. This is Anthem to Destiny. This is like the high school dropout and his son who like smokes crack on the porch and yells at pedestrians. This is not even close.
That's true.
So, and seriously, another developer. That's just sad because it's another developer that I loved, BioWare.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love them for different reasons, but I mean, they made great games, just a different kind of game. And to see the state they've come to now, it's just so sad.
That's what happens when you let unqualified people take over your studio.
It's and it was people, these developers, I'm sure they think like, oh, these publishers are going to give us so much money, we can add so much quality to our games. But it's like Activision with Bungie and EA with BioWare, it did nothing but cause a vastly worse product in the end.
Yeah, they think that these giant corporations are going to, I mean, let's be real here. Activision, EA, the only thing that they want is more money. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that's wrong or that's bad. That's just what they're for. That's just what they're for. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, that's what their job is.
So when you as an underling company that makes a good franchise and you get picked up by this other franchise, your budget for your game is going to go up. But from that happening, the people at EA, those guys that are above them, are going to go want to put their jizz in the soup, the old creation soup. They want to sit there and go, oh, you got to put this in there. You got to put that in there. Because they want to be the guy that's, oh, look, yeah, I put that part in that game. I did that, Yeah. But everybody, once you get too many managerial people in your thing that try to override their creativity, it happens all the time in, like, movies, TV, like a small group of people that they're making their TV show, and it's like maybe on like a indie film or indie channel or something like that, and they get cult status. And then if you ever see they make a remake of the movie or they make a sequel, it's never as good. It's always a mess. And it's because they get too many people that think they know what they're talking about, and it just...
And since they're the ones providing the money, you have to do what they say. And that's just... So Mass Effect Andromeda, we got to... for example, that was just, they did not have time to finish it. It's just as simple as that. And they were forced to put it out when it wasn't ready.
And how long did they say that they were working on it? They said they were working on it in like 2013. They weren't working on it.
Or if
they were,
they had to change it because
different.
They had to change it up because what they were trying to do wasn't working. I don't know if it was like an issue with the game engine that couldn't handle it or what. But whatever they were doing, they had to change it up, and then they weren't ready to release it. Which is why right now I love CD Projekt Red, because they've been working on Cyberpunk for like 5 years now, and they said, "Oh well, it's not ready, so it'll probably be a few more years." So I'm like, okay, I'll wait. Like, as long as it's
Rockstar does the same thing. I know I've had my issues with Rockstar in the past about the way they release the Grand Theft Auto Online and stuff like that. But when they have their game, they are not afraid to push it back if it's not done. They've already done it with Red Dead. They did it with PC version of Grand Theft Auto 5. It came out like a year and a half after it came out on the Xbox One and PS4. So they're not afraid to say, hey, look, we're not here with our product. We don't want to put out a crappy product. It's gonna take time, and then they'll push it back. And as far as I can tell, I mean, they're one of the high-end developers. And what they've done with Grand Theft Auto Online, I know people are upset about, the shark cards and everything like that, and it's a grind to get the money. But all that content they've released for free, I would much rather a company or a game developer put out a game, $60, all DLCs free. You can get it whenever they're releasing them every quarter, like big DLCs, and you don't have to pay anything extra. And it's the people that are, spending $100 a month on shark cards that are paying for those. So those people that want to go out and spend extra money and spend $300-400 on a video game, so you can stay at $60 instead of paying $120 for the season pass like every other freaking developer does.
Yeah. Oh my God, season passes are. That's the topic for later.
Yeah.
So Anthem right now, your hype levels. Yeah, I'm about the same. I don't want to say I'm hopeful, but I'm interested. But I'm definitely not pre-ordering. Not gonna buy it until I see in depth what it's about.
I might get it on a sale.
Yeah,
but I don't think I'm paying full price.
I'm definitely not gonna pay full price for it. I'll get it on a sale if it looks good. If I've seen a lot of gameplay for it, and I know it's got content, and I know what it's gonna bring. So. We were talking a second ago about publishers and their relationship with developers, so that actually segues pretty properly, I should say, into Microsoft buying up all these studios. So we can go ahead and head over to Microsoft EA conference, starting with their acquisition of these new studios. So I think one of the biggest cons, I guess you could say, for Xbox is that they don't have the exclusives. That's the biggest gripe I hear a lot of people saying. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, on their studios that they bought up? Do you think it's going to help turn them around, or is it much more of like a far in the future? Are they looking for the long game?
I think Microsoft is playing the long game, because I don't think consoles are going to be a thing in the near future, because the technology is moving so fast that you're not getting 10 years out of a console anymore. It's just not happening. The 360 and PS3, that was a freaking unicorn in today's gaming. It's just not going to happen. And I'm hoping eventually the time of the exclusives is fucking over. Because exclusives, to me, are dumb. Because exclusives doesn't mean your game's great. It means that they're working with a console to make sure that they can have the console sell more.
Yeah.
The point of the exclusive is not to, like, oh, there's plenty of games on Xbox that are exclusive just to Xbox, and those games are indie games. I mean, exclusive.
I'd say the majority of their exclusives are just indie games that. I don't even think they advertise them well enough to warrant them being exclusive, because a lot of the times, the games with gold games that you get, they're indie exclusive games that I've never heard of, and I'm like, well, why have I never heard of these?
Yeah,
like, you're not advertising your games well enough.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan. I want everyone to be able to play every game on any platform. Because some people like PlayStation more. To me, ever since I've been getting into PCs, the whole console war to me just seems ridiculous.
So that kind of goes into crossplay. You're a big advocate for crossplay, I assume.
Yes. Because whenever we play together on Xbox, and there's the option to cross-play with my PC, I use my PC.
Yeah,
100%
that's
of the
actually,
time.
I hadn't really thought about that. Like, you greatly prefer playing on your PC, and if, we're playing on our Xbox, you wouldn't have been able to do that. You'd have to get on an Xbox, which you really don't want to because you're so much into PC. You like using mouse and keyboard. You just like your PC because it runs well, and it's a preference. It's just a preference for each particular person. And when we was it Halo we were playing? It was probably Halo. You were on PC and we were on Xbox.
No, I can't play Halo on PC.
Or was it Sea of
Thieves? Sea of Thieves. I can play
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah,
that's
Halo right now
crossplay.
isn't yet compatible for PC. I think it's just Forge. So
Yeah, Forge is compatible. Yeah.
but
And then they have those mods that people have modded, like Halo 1, which
okay.
kind of got shut down.
Yeah,
but-
so like Microsoft's starting to go there, and they've been doing it. They started out, I think they were trying it with Windows to see what would happen and if people would be interested, and I think the interest is there. And now they're branching out with, not just PC, but with Switch as well. I'm not sure if you've heard about all this, but that's a thing.
So what
Um,
are they doing?
Fortnite, you know how big Fortnite is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they've got
you can
mobile
cross-play.
games and-
You can cross-play Fortnite from Xbox with PC, Switch, phones, all that, and Switch and Microsoft are they're working together to advertise against Sony because Sony will not allow cross-play with the other consoles.
Yeah,
They just won't
speaking
do
of
it.
that was one of the articles that I had up here.
Yeah,
it
so
was
and people are getting
Fallout 76 won't have cross-platform play because of Sony.
Yeah, that's because of Sony. Yeah.
Yeah.
So developers are trying to do this crossplay because their incentive,
They get more money.
they
The
get more
developers
money,
get
and their
more money.
incentive is to have people enjoy their games. That's
Yeah.
all they want. They don't care about exclusivity. Honestly, the only reason they do it is because they get paid by the publishers.
The only people that care about exclusivity are console fanboys. People that say, "Oh, PS4 is better than Xbox because we got better exclusives." That doesn't mean your console runs better or your games play better. It means you just have a different set of games.
Right, and
Like-
crossplay it's very consumer friendly. It's
Okay, and
literally
so-
a win-win for everybody. But
Yeah, and I understand some points of the crossplay. People say because mouse and keyboard is way more accurate in first-person shooters. I get that. So what I would propose is have different servers set up.
Yeah.
If you want to have crossplay against PC and you're a console player, you can opt into the PC crossplay server.
yeah, it's a
If
pretty
you
simple
don't-
idea.
Yeah, if you don't, then don't do it. You can stay with the console. I have no problem with that.
Although I do think mouse and keyboard is going to become a lot more mainstream pretty soon because Xbox will soon be allowing it. It's just going to
Yeah.
have mouse and keyboard support. It'll just be there. So
Yeah,
so that's just going to be a thing.
I think people are just going to have to. I mean,
You're either going to have to
I-
adapt or just learn to play against people like that.
And the more I got into it, because I had never played PC games with a mouse and keyboard up until I built mine 3 years ago. Always used the controller, and now I can't go back. The only thing I use a controller for is to relax, like playing Grand Theft Auto or racing games, because I don't have a racing wheel. And if I had that, I wouldn't even use it for that. So, to me, the controller it's basically obsolete. It makes me, or it drives me crazy when I see people buying $120, $150 elite Xbox controllers whenever you can buy a mouse and keyboard for $20 and have all the keys that you need to make macros and all this
Yeah.
and that. You can do all these other things for way cheaper than a regular, like a Microsoft one. Those are what? Either $40 or $60.
Somewhere
I guess,
between 40 and
depends.
60, I think. There is
So-
also the case, like in my case, I'm sure I could just play through it and then get over it, but my hands, my fingers cramp up when I try to play with mouse and keyboard, and I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sure
that's
that
one
goes
thing
away, but
It does go away.
But for right
'cause-
now, I'm just I'll just stick with the controller, But I'm not going to complain about playing against people with a mouse and keyboard though, because I'm just like, well, I'll just take my chances with the controller. It's just what I do.
One of the things that I've got, I never really had an issue with my keyboard fingers. What I had issues was my palm. Down on my palm on my right hand side when I'd use the mouse, the little ball by your wrist, like holding that down while you're using your mouse, that would get so sore from PC gaming when I first started doing it that it would hurt so bad that I couldn't play anymore. I'd have to basically have 3 fingers up and have my hand hovering over the mouse so I didn't touch it on the thing because it was hurting so much. But after, a couple months of playing it, I guess you get used to it and it doesn't hurt anymore. I don't have any issues with it anymore. But anyway, the whole point, what I was trying to say, how we kind of branched off, was your whole thing was, how do you think that's going to work out for Microsoft in the long term?
In the long term, yeah, with their new studios.
And this is what I think Microsoft is looking at. The amount of video gamers in the world has reached 1.8 billion gamers. 1.2 billion gamers play on PC. That's who they're going for.
Yeah.
You may sell. I mean, the Nintendo, what was it? The
Switch?
Wii.
The Wii. Oh, yeah.
The Wii. That sold the most out of any console ever. And it was what, like 98 million? Something like that?
Yeah, if they can
million?
get up into the hundreds of millions with their games and... Oh, man. That's a good point because like people are saying, what's the point of having an Xbox if you can play all these exclusives on Windows, on PC? It's like, well, they're going to sell a lot more copies.
Yeah.
In case you hadn't noticed, the Xbox One is kind of lagging behind in sales. Like it doesn't have that big of an install base. If they can make all the exclusives available for the people who want the console, like me, or the people who prefer PC, like you, that's a win-win for everyone involved. Like, they're adding their games to such a bigger install base with throwing them on PC.
And what I think Microsoft is going to start doing is they're going to be trying to sell Xbox as a service. Mm-hmm. So what they're going to have is they're going to have, I don't remember if you remember the the Steam boxes that came out. Mm-hmm. They're little tiny mini PCs that you would plug into your TV, and it was like a little mini console. You'd plug in a controller. It had like a console user face, and you'd play all your Steam games that you had on your PC. You could just play them on your thing. So I kind of think that's where Microsoft is going to be going. Is they're going to be they'll be doing their Xbox as a service. So their PC and console type thing will start to integrate. And one of the rumors that I heard about the next Xbox that's going to be coming out is they're going to be sending it out in tiers. So it'll be coming in basically like gaming PCs. The people that want higher frame rates, to want to run 4K, will spend more money and get the elite version, and then they'll have their standard version, and then they'll probably do like, I don't know if they'll ever do that again, but kind of did that Kinect version of the old Xbox 360 that only had 4 gigabytes of storage.
Yeah, that was insane.
That was dumb.
That was like not even nearly enough even back then. Like
No, that's definitely not. But I think that's where they're going to be headed, is to Xbox as a service and more of a hybrid.
When they have these new studios, they're just pumping out quality games.
Yeah. So like the people that already have PCs that would never in their right mind ever buy a console, right? If you can convince them, hey, you buy the game once, you can have it on multiple platforms. So someone like me with a nice PC that would play it right there, but maybe has a kid or something like that, right? And so maybe you buy the small little Xbox so you can share your games from your Steam.
Yeah, okay.
Or
that makes sense.
Whatever, or your EA Access or whatever they're going to integrate into it, and you could have that extra, $200, $300 box in your kid's room, and you could play the games you already own on your PC. So they're going to make money on their console. I put console in quotes because it's not going to be really much console. They're already based on PC architecture right now. And so they're going to be trying to capture that segment of the population instead of the people who just want consoles, because the people that just want consoles are still going to buy their consoles anyway.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's very attractive to me that Microsoft has been selling their games to me where I only have to buy them once. Because, like, Fallout 76, I'm going to have to buy it twice.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to buy it on console because I want to play with you guys. And then I've got my other PC friends who are going to have it.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, there's supposedly going to be mod support somewhere down the line. And I'm going to play it for that because I've got... Let me pull up my Steam real quick.
And while you're doing that, I got to jump in for a second because, like, you just mentioned mod support. That's another thing Microsoft's got going for it. Like, they're going to start integrating more mod support for more games, like, just as kind of a console thing that they're just going to do. And I think that's another huge thing they got going for them. Like, Microsoft right now, they're losing to Sony. But,
yeah,
like, a couple years from now, like, who knows what's going to be happening? Because if you remember, the 360 destroyed PS3 in sales. And then as soon as the new consoles came out, Microsoft was fucking being stupid with their Kinect and their DRM and all that shit. And Sony wiped the floor with them with their marketing and just the way they implemented their systems into their PlayStation. And at the time, it had better graphics. It was $100 cheaper. They had all these exclusives. Like, that's what, you know, won this console generation. It was over from the beginning. Microsoft never had a chance because they screwed themselves.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but
they came out...
that could flip very easily in the next few years.
They came out... Sony came out for gamers. I remember that was the big, like, headline, is that Sony's for gamers. And then Microsoft is casual, basically, is the way they were trying to...
Yeah.
Microsoft is wanting the family. They want the family box.
Yeah.
Sony's coming out straight for gamers.
It's not what people wanted, so...
yeah, and I think they've learned from that.
Yeah.
And now Sony is being the one that's anti-gamer.
Yeah.
Why not let mods? If people want to break their games, let them break their games.
Yeah. Why not allow crossplay? Well, they want more money. You know, it's simple. Like we know why they're doing it, but you know, it's just not good for them in the long run. It's good for them in the short run, but not in the long run. And they're pissing people off. So what else about Microsoft's conference in particular? Like, did you think overall it was good? Were there things that you didn't like?
It was either the best conference or the second best.
Yeah. Being up there with Bethesda, you mean?
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't understand like the whole Halo is going to be open world. I haven't seen any evidence for that other than the trailer, and the trailer didn't really scream open world.
It just looked like a big level, you know, kind of like Halo 1.
Yeah,
So,
Halo 3
and you know
used to have gigantic levels.
Halo 3 had pretty big levels. So, like, I think that's also due to their new, they made a brand new engine for this so they can make the game, you know, bigger, be able to do more things. So, I'm really excited about Halo. I'm a Halo fanboy. Like, I'm really excited about that. Like, what else did Microsoft do that you liked?
Let's see. What did they actually... that's EA.
Well, I can...
Forza Horizon 4.
That does look really good. Like, there were so many cars in that lobby at the same time. It was insane. And, like, just...
Yeah.
Racing games just have a way to implement lighting and graphics that no other games can do. It's just the nature of the beast, I guess. Like, when you've got a racing game, you can just focus all your because like your system is just driving. Like, you don't have to do a whole lot more than that. So all your resources can go to making the world look good. So
yeah, and whenever you're driving, you're looking at one half of the world, whatever your field of view is, right?
Yeah.
So anything
you
that
can't
is
just be
behind
spinning
you,
your camera around. Like,
no, you can't just. Well, you can, but I mean,
you'll crash.
It's not the same. Yeah. So it doesn't have to work as hard to render the stuff behind you as it does the stuff in front of you. So it's kind of like, it's almost like 2D in a way. Like, it's just rendering what's in front of you, not what's behind you and what's beside you, unless you're moving your camera around, and then most likely, like you said, you're gonna end up ramming into something.
Yeah. So that game looks really cool.
It looks really good, and Forza has always been my favorite racing games. I like the original Forzas. I've only played one of the Horizons, and I played a demo of it, and it was pretty crazy. But being able to play with friends, because I've never played it with friends, I imagine that's more what it's about.
Yeah. I gotta jump in real quick and talk about the Gears games that they announced. I don't know what the fuck Gears Pop is. I'm not even gonna try to talk about that. It's some mobile game.
That was so funny,
I'm
though.
not interested.
When
It looks funny.
When they released it, when they did,
everybody in the crowd is like, what?
they were pissed. Okay, so I was watching it. I was watching it on YouTube, and you could just see the chat bar scrolling down. What the fuck? What is this shit?
Because they had this super awesome chainsaw revving up, and then the logo pops up, and then this little Marcus Phoenix like bobblehead dude pop toy.
I saw so many Gears is dead. Just
it's funny though, like
I saw F. There were so many people that were just typing F for respect because they were like Gears is dead. I was laughing so hard.
That had to have been like that was the perfect troll by the coalition and Microsoft to do that, because immediately after they're like, actually we've got 3 Gears games coming out, so here's Gears Tactics and Gears 5. So I want to just skip Gears Pop for now because I don't know what the hell it is, but Gears Tactics. All right, you and I both big fans of XCOM. This is a tactical squad-based shooter in the veins of XCOM, but with Gears of War, just a Gears of War skin on it. So I think that looks super fucking cool, and I think it's a PC exclusive.
Really?
I think so. That's what he said. I mean, he said we've got Gears Pop for mobile, Gears Tactics for PC, and Gears 5 for Xbox. So that's what he said.
Huh.
So
that's weird.
Because
XCOM is on consoles, so it's not like consoles can't run it.
I don't know why they. I think maybe I don't know. I don't want to say what they're gonna do. I would have liked it to be on Xbox as well, and I think they should do that. But if they don't, there's nothing I can do about it. But
yeah,
what I really want to see is because it's not the squad from the Gears games. This takes place before Gears of War 1, from what I've understood, and it's a different squad. And you've got this tactical turn-based cover shooting mechanic, which actually works really well because that's a lot of what Gears of War is. It's a cover-based shooter.
Yeah.
So it translates well. And but what I want to know is like how the characters will develop over time as you play. So in XCOM, when you play missions with the character and they survive, they gain XP, they level up, and they get perks, they get new abilities. What kind of perks and abilities like will they implement into Gears Tactics? Because if they don't do something interesting like that, it could get stale. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's gonna be a tricky thing to do. It's I don't know, because I don't know if they're gonna go for an XCOM clone or if they're gonna go for their own strategy on how they're gonna do stuff.
Yeah.
Because like in XCOM, your soldier, I mean, they're expendable.
Yeah,
I mean,
they can permanently die. If they die, they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah,
and you just have to replace them with a new nameless rookie. You know,
procedurally generated. They're not like all the same. Like they're kind of just.
Yeah,
like,
no. Well, some of them are the same. Like certain spots.
Yeah.
Certain story missions are going to be the same.
Yeah, I think in a Gears game, it's going to be much more focused on storytelling and level design and character design. So I imagine they're not going to do that. They're going to have like this level, you're always going to play on this map. This is where the enemies are going to be. I think that's enemies don't have to be in the same spot every time, but like, you know what I mean? Like the map's got to be the same because you're telling a story. So
yeah. And one of the things that I do have a question about is, are they going to allow mod support? Because mod support for XCOM is freaking awesome.
Yeah. That would be a good question to have answered.
And I think this is what developers need to start learning, or some of them already know, like Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
If you open your game up for free and open modding, that will increase the lifetime of your game tenfold.
Yeah, that's true.
Skyrim came out 11/11/11 7 years ago, and it is still one of the.
It's killing
it. If you go on Steam and see like concurrent players, Skyrim is still up there. So, yeah, it's crazy. I think what people are going to start learning is that the more consumer friendly you are, the more money you're going to make in the long run.
In the long run, yeah.
It may cost you money, like in the meantime, where you don't get to charge that extra $40 for the season pass or anything like that. But like, you just keep adding on content or letting people make their own content. And I've bought Skyrim several times. I've got Skyrim, and I got the special edition on Steam right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the special edition, I didn't get it in time to get it for free. I went ahead and paid for it anyway because, I mean, it's a hell of a game. And You know, what's $20 for a game that I'm gonna spend literally hundreds of hours playing?
Yeah.
And
That's a good point.
That's what I was gonna say with Fallout 4. I have 343 hours on Fallout 4, which is regarded by critics as one of the worst Fallout games, if not the worst.
Yeah, and if that's the worst Fallout game and you're still putting in hundreds of hours, that's just a testament to Bethesda on how user-friendly they are. Because in that game, if you use mods, you can just do whatever the hell you want. Like
you can pretty much mod the game you want.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have issues with it, like it's not enough RPG elements enough.
Nope, there's a mod for that.
Yeah, pretty much. The combat is the best combat of any Fallout they've ever had. They've done a great job. I do wish they would get a new engine, but
dear God, please. That's the main concern I have for Fallout 76. Is it the same engine? Did they make a new one? It didn't look like a new engine.
It looks like the same engine, so that's where we can segue into Bethesda here.
Yeah.
Is Fallout 76. That's the one thing that I'm actually excited about, though. Most people are kind of like leery about having Fallout 76.
Because it's not the true Fallout experience. It's not a single player. It's not like story-driven RPG. It's like, well, true to an extent, but I think the point of Fallout 76 is they're trying to do something a little different and fun and just change it up. It's not meant to be like Fallout 5, you know?
I don't know because I wasn't into the Fallout realm back when Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 came out. Well, then they came out with Fallout Tactics.
Yeah.
Fallout Tactics is a standalone spin-off, and it's not considered a part of the main series, right? So, like, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but now no one says, oh, fucking Fallout Tactics, it's not a real Fallout game.
Just to go back to Fallout 3, that was a huge argument when Fallout 3 was being teased.
Yeah.
It was this open world first person action RPG, and people were like, this is not. I don't know about this because this does not look anything like Fallout. Because it didn't. It was very different. It was a huge change, but it ended up working. So that's why I'm not really concerned about the changes they're making to 76 because. You know, it still looks like fun. It's different. It's a Fallout that you can screw around with your friends. It just seems like a big open sandbox playground to hang out with your friends and kill a bunch of giant mutated monsters. That's pretty much what it seems like to me.
And one of the things that I saw about it is apparently you'll be able to save your like structures and your bases as like a blueprint.
Yeah, so when you log out, you could just pack them up and they'll log out with you and... You can't get your shit destroyed.
So maybe that will help from griefing. So maybe like, okay, so someone can come in and destroy your entire base. Well, you still have the blueprint for it. You just have to get the materials for it. So maybe it's not going to be so much of a grind to get your place back up and running.
That was a big concern people had because with a lot of those online survival games, like when your shit gets destroyed, it's gone. Or when you die, your stuff is gone. Like you got to restart over. And Bethesda's wanting to, not have it that way.
Yeah, the roughest form of that, I don't know if you've ever played Rust. Have you ever played it?
I don't think I've played it. I've seen some videos about it, but I never actually played it.
So, Rust is super hardcore about it. When you log off, your character in-game is still there. He's just sleeping.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, if you build your base, you can log off, and you just go to sleep. So someone can go in your base,
and kill
wreck
you
your
when you
base,
sleep.
murder you, take all your stuff. You log back in the next day, and you're woke up on a beach with nothing.
Damn.
So that's shitty. That sucks. So the only way to play games like that is to join these giant conglomerations that they have, where they have a group of 25 people, so that there's usually someone always on in these giant bases. So when you go log out for the night, there's always someone on to protect the base. So I'm glad that Fallout's not going that way because it's tough getting into those places. I've played Rust.
It's crazy how gamers will create their own societies and meta games for games like that. It fascinates me.
Yeah,
how that just develops
weird.
Like that.
And most of the time it's kill on sight too. So if you see anyone, it's oh shit, I'm gonna fucking die.
Okay, so now that we're talking about Bethesda. What else? What you got? What'd you see from them that you really liked?
Rage?
Rage, yes. I was about to say that too. The first Rage, I wasn't really all that into, but this one looks just fucking crazy. It looks so good. And since they made Doom as well, so from what I've heard, they're saying that they wanted it to play a lot more like Doom, just super hardcore running gun, just going all out. And that's what it looked like from the gameplay demo they showed.
Yeah, Rage to me just looks like fun.
Yeah, it kind of
it just seems
it's like you want to
it's a lighthearted game.
Yeah. Just go in there and murder some people.
You just go and blow shit up. This is the game that in the 1990s the religious Christians would be trying to get banned. This is the kind of game I'm imagining that they sit back and
it would be Mortal Kombat and Rage 2. That's what it would be.
Yeah. They would be like, what game can we make that would piss off the people that want to censor gaming the most? And they came out with Rage.
Oh, it looks so good.
it just looks like a game that doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And that's
like a game. It looks like it's a game that developers were having fun making, and that's gonna vastly improve the quality of the game, I think.
Yeah, it's a game that to me doesn't take itself seriously.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what can we do? Like some guys, like probably over there, the creative guys over there, he's hungover, just came in, stumbling around. They're like, oh shit, what do we got to do? And he's like, I don't know, hold on. He turns around, just takes a giant hit of a bong, grabs a dildo, flings it against a wall where they've got a bunch of things on the wall that say, this is what things, and he just takes the dildo off. So we've got this. Combine it with, close his eyes, throws it up there again, get this. So we've got rocket launchers filled with marshmallows. Like, what the fuck? So I think they just had fun. They just, want to do some crazy shit. They looked at, like, Mad Max and said, can we take this up to 10?
Yeah. Oh,
but yeah, it
so
looks
fun.
fun. It looks crazy. It looks awesome. I'm definitely going to get it. That's for sure.
And they finally officially announced Elder Scrolls 6, which I'm excited, but it's going to be a few years out, so I'm trying to not overdo it. It's not going to be ready for a while.
That wasn't much of a reveal
Yeah.
of, hey, we're going to work on Elder Scrolls 6. It's like, okay, guys, I know you've been waiting for the past 4 years. We're at least just going to tell you something so you don't think we've given up on you.
Yeah. I did like the little skit they did with Skyrim, though, releasing it on the
Apparently,
fridge.
it actually is on Alexa.
Oh, my God. I've got to try that out later, then.
I thought it was just something that they were just self-aware, making fun of themselves for releasing Skyrim several different times.
That's
but
funny.
No, one of the guys I work with actually has tried it, and he said it's just like kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons thing. It'll talk to you and you tell it what you're gonna do.
That is
And
brilliant.
it does like a dice roll. So
Wow.
I don't have an Alexa, so I would love to try it, but I don't
got
have one. So.
I'm gonna try it later. Fuck.
So
Starfield,
probably what
gonna be
I'm
cool,
thinking,
but
Starfield. What I'm hoping Starfield does, and the people making Starfield, they're very intelligent people, so I'm hoping that they look at the giant gaping hole that Mass Effect Andromeda left on the RPG space realm. Like, I know a lot of people liked the Dead Space games. Those practically got canceled because of the last one apparently didn't do so well because EA stuck their dick in the Kool-Aid and ruined it from what I've been told. But they have the perfect opportunity to come in with a world, a life-filled world. And that's one of the things that I really liked about the Mass Effect series is that the world felt real. There were so many different types of, humanoids. There were all sorts of races.
And each race had their own culture and history that you could delve into if you wanted to. It was just...
There was internal strife.
Yeah.
There was all sorts of things.
Jam-packed with content.
The Mass Effect world, the universe that is Mass Effect, it was so rich with lore and history and all sorts of things. You could just go and find someone in the game that has their own story, and it's just some random person. So with Andromeda, it was just when they came to the new galaxy, it was just basically lifeless. There was 2 races basically, you except for the ones you already took with you, and there wasn't really much there. It was just pirates and non-pirates and genocidal Death Star people. There wasn't a whole lot of political strife. There wasn't a whole
lot of anything going on, like just in general.
I mean, yeah, they set it up as a sandbox without putting anything there for you to do.
Yeah, and
it was just run around.
That's like a big problem because that's not what Mass Effect is. It's not just a sandbox where go play in the sandbox now. It's like it is like a big open game, but there is stuff to do wherever you go. There's something important happening. There's some bit of lore to find or a new character to discover.
People hate on Mass Effect 2, but that one was my favorite.
Yeah.
I loved Mass Effect 2 because you got every character that was on your crew, you could get in depth with them.
And you had to if you didn't want them to die at the end.
It was so. And people criticize that, but I really liked that because it really got you into liking the people on your crew.
That helped, and they were those missions that you did for them. It developed their characters so well that you really gave a shit in that end mission. Like you wanted to make sure that all your people survived, and I mean, I loved it. Mass Effect 2 is my favorite of all the Mass Effect games.
I loved the Jacob story arc where you go down and you have to meet his dad.
Mm-hmm.
That was an amazing story writing. And so what I'm hoping Starfield does is go back and capture the essence of the first Mass Effects, where they go in and they delve out a story. You get in deep with people. People feel real. They have their own, like, Jacob had dad issues. Like, people in real life have those issues. And if they can make a story where the people in the story feel real, the world feels real, I think that could take over. And I know people are going to be upset, like the Mass Effect people, because, it's third person. I don't know if Starfield's going to be first person or if it's going to be like how
you can switch back and forth.
Yeah, or if it's going to be like Prey, where it's only first person out in space. But I'm hoping that, hoping they don't use the creation engine for that. But
please come up with a new engine.
Please. But I hope they leave it up for modding, and 2, they need to have story, and RPG elements. If you have a sandbox with a shit story and no RPG elements, you don't have anything good. You just don't.
Yeah, you just have an empty box, no sand.
What you have is No Man's Sky.
Yeah. Oh God.
No story, no RPG elements, and sandbox. That's what you got. One of the biggest disasters. One of the most worthless games I've ever spent my money on and played.
I bought that for $60 fucking. Son of a bitch. I cannot believe that. I really have to just stop buying games, like opening day or whatever, because I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not.
But yeah.
So yeah, we like Bethesda. Good conference.
Yeah, it was, and I'm not a fan of the Creation Club. So with 76, there's rumors that the only mods they are going to allow for 76 are going to be Creation Club mods. I hope that's not the case. But overall, who else brought the games like Bethesda did? And I don't want to sound like a Bethesda fanboy because, I mean, I'm sounding that way right now, but they had some
Bethesda
fun
had very,
games.
very quality looking games. Microsoft had the quantity. They had so many games, which that's part of the reason I like their conference. They just like bam, bam, bam. They kept it going. It was nonstop, full of games, and it was really cool. But let's talk about Sony real quick before we have to end this episode, because that's the other big guy here. What did you think about Sony's conference?
Well, I still don't know what Death Stranding is.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on?
I don't. I have no idea.
At this point, like, that's all I think we need to even say, because, like, what more can you say? What the fuck? I do have something to say about Sony's conference though. Like I didn't like it, honestly. There were some games that looked really good, and I'm excited for those games. But as a conference, like the presentation was just very poorly done, and it was weird to me in a lot of cases. Like they had just people talking at a table for a good portion of it. They had like 2 starts. They had these musical numbers that went on for too long, kind of like the Bethesda one. Like they just had one musical number that I can remember, but it was for the game, and it kind of, I mean, it felt out of place to me. That kind of felt out of place to me too. But
yeah, it was a weird
conference.
To me, what I say about Sony's is what could have been.
Yeah,
there were things that they came out with some good stuff. They came out with The Last of Us 2.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil 2.
Yes.
Who the fuck expected
that might
Resident
be my
Evil
favorite
2?
game of the entire E3 conference, honestly, so far, because fuck, that looks crazy good. And it's coming out in January. So,
and I'm not a superhero person at all. Spider-Man looked fun.
Spider-Man, yes, that game looks fucking amazing.
Spider-Man looked fucking fun.
Like they had some games that looked incredible, but just the presentation of the overall conference was just odd to me.
There was 2 things that I took issue with of Sony's conference. And you may think, or some people may think, they're stupid things to come through. I mean, I understand. One was we still don't know what the fuck Death Stranding is, or Standing, whatever it's called. Death Stranding.
Stranding, yeah.
We don't. There was a good opportunity to.
They showed a lot of
like. They showed shitloads of gameplay.
Yeah, gameplay in quotes.
Yeah, gameplay in quotes. Yeah.
Because. I mean,
they could have explained it. They could have had
just give us
Norman
something.
Reedus do a voiceover.
Yeah, give us something, because at this point,
give us the story.
All I'm seeing from people, like the majority of people, is they're like, "Well, I just don't care anymore." That's what I'm seeing. A lot of people saying, and it's a shame because Hideo Kojima's such a great, developer and storyteller. But it seems like he's just fucking with us right now. Like, why are you doing this?
It does.
And I don't like that so many people are just so hardcore into Hideo Kojima that they're just like, oh, I'm still fucking stoked. Like, well, I mean,
yeah,
but why? Like, I'm sure the game, it's got potential to be great, but from what we've seen so far, we haven't seen anything to really warrant such a hardcore enthusiasm for the game.
I haven't seen anything where I'm like, God damn, I'm getting that. Like I did with Rage. When I saw Rage, I'm like, God damn, I'm getting that. Whether those are 2 completely different games, but it's all about the presentation, the emotions that they captured. Yeah, the emotions that they captured when you see it. Like when you see Rage, you get excited. You're like, oh yeah, you want to. That's the whole reason they had Andrew WK there in the first place, because he's always been that crazy party guy. And Death Stranding, and just like, I'm just confused. And it's weird because they went all out, like, right when The Walking Dead was super popular, and, it was Daryl. If Daryl dies, we riot. That's like got like 1 million likes on Facebook. Like, people are into Norman Reedus' characters. So, and it seems like they're kind of squandering it with it not letting you know what the fuck it is. So,
and
that was.
Do we have a release date on that, or is that still not announced?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think so. And that was one. And the other thing that I have issues with is, where the fuck is the Final Fantasy VII Remake? Why didn't you say anything?
Yeah, they didn't say anything about it. That's weird.
Nothing. I
hadn't even thought about that, honestly. Like, but
they didn't do that at the Square
them.
Enix one either. Yeah, they didn't do it at the Square Enix one either. And, like, everyone's stoked about Kingdom Hearts 3. That's cool, but I liked Kingdom Hearts, but Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite games of all time. And that, I mean, they teased that, 3 years ago?
Yeah. Something like that.
We've barely heard anything since. And, man, if they try... People will complain about my perspective on this, but I'm coming from the perspective of growing up playing Final Fantasy VII, 8, 10... Stop with the active like world battles. I want a turn or time-based battle system like they had in the past. Like, I loved Final Fantasy 12. I couldn't stand 13 on. I can't play the new
You didn't
ones.
like 15?
I haven't played 15.
Okay, I like 15.
I've never played 15, so I'm probably speaking from a place of ignorance here. But I played 13. It was all right.
15, though, it had a really good story, too, so...
I played Lightning Returns. I'm just kind of over the little battle system they've got.
So you like the old turn-based stuff?
Yes, my favorite was 10.
I got bad news for you. I'm pretty sure that's not going to be in the remake.
I know. That's where I was going with that. And they were gonna go with the new style. And man, I just don't. There aren't any more games that do that anymore. Like, it's like how all the games are trying to go with Battle Royale right now. Is there ever going to be a resurgence of turn-based battle systems?
I mean, that's a good question. It could come back. Honestly, though, like, I really liked the system in 15 because it was fast-paced. I liked the more fast-paced systems. I wasn't a huge fan of the turn-based stuff, although I do like some turn-based things like XCOM, Fire Emblem, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't hate turn-based fighting systems, but I did really, really like what they had in 15. So, I think you should give that a chance if you can get it for cheap, because it tells an incredibly good story, and it's just overall fun. Just the fighting system is fun, and
it felt weird to me though that there was like
really cool
cars. It felt weird to me that there was like regular cars.
Yeah,
in the Final Fantasy universe.
Just driving a car. Yeah,
it's like on the highway, and I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can get get chocobos though if you want, and you can customize them. Each one for your party members can have a different name and color. It's pretty cool. So you can go off-roading.
I mean, it's not the first Final Fantasy with like vehicles in it. Final Fantasy 7 had motorcycles and stuff. I mean, they had little mini games and stuff. But also on the things about Final Fantasy 7 that were in the game was made. How long ago was Final Fantasy 7 made?
Oh God.
Let me find that out before I.
98.
It was made 1997.
97. Okay.
Okay, so there are things that are in Final Fantasy VII that would not be considered politically correct.
Okay.
Now. So the point where you dress as a woman. I don't know if you remember that part. Oh, yeah.
And you have to
you have to dress up as a...
you gotta kind of objectify yourself.
You've got to objectify yourself?
Like this dude's brothel or something? I don't quite remember.
Yeah. But then you could also look at it kind of like progressively, because like this is the mid-90s, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a game where you become a cross-dresser. Yeah. So that's kind of like...
And you're the hero of the story, so...
Yeah. But... So that's what I'm confused, because I saw a meme. It cracked me the hell up. And it was wherever you've got the wig on and everything, and then it's got a bunch of like half-naked giant dudes. And it said, "Oh my God, I just remembered that this was in the game. How are they going to put this in the remake?" And like how funny it would be just to see a bunch of buffed up dudes in Speedos surrounding you while you've got a wig on. So it's... If it ever does get released, because, I mean, what was it, Final Fantasy, like, 14? One of those Final Fantasies that they were showing off for the PlayStation 3 never got released. I don't remember which one it was. And then it got kind of, like, changed into a different one. So, at this point, we don't even know if it's actually going to get released.
Yeah, it would be a real shame if they end up canceling it.
So
I don't know why they would, but... I mean, if they just can't get it done, then they can't get it done. I don't know. It's a huge task to take on, honestly.
Huge. It's a huge task, and there's so much anticipation from it. I mean, the game's 21 years old, and the most of the people that are going to want to play it are the people that grew up with it 20 years ago.
A task along the lines of, like, Half-Life 3 or something. Like, Like, if that game ever came
Yeah.
out and it wasn't perfect, then fuck.
Yeah,
Developers gonna be in trouble. There's a lot of pressure.
That is one of the most popular Final Fantasies of all time. I just don't know if they could do it. And that's like if they tried. I grew up more. I liked Final Fantasy VII. I grew up playing it, but my favorite was Final Fantasy X. And I don't know how I would react to them redoing it, like remaking Final Fantasy X, and then changing everything completely from how it was, except for the story and setting. Like, I don't think that would sit well with me.
But I mean, if you think about it, that is what they're doing with Resident Evil. But I mean, you probably didn't play the Resident Evil 2 all that much.
I never played Resident Evil 2. I played the Outbreaks.
Yeah.
On the PlayStation 2, the ones with the weird camera angles and stuff. So I did play those. One thing, what I would like to see, I mean, it's never going to happen because it's inefficient and it's kind of a waste of money because no one is going to buy it for the extra feature. So, like, when they do a remake like that, do the remake and then make a remaster a part of that game. So you can have the remake the way they re-envision the remake, and then you also have the remaster, which would just be the same mechanics and everything like that. So it would keep the people happy that played the original and wanted a new updated version of the original.
That would be really cool. But you know what they would do? Buy our deluxe ultimate mega edition for $150.
Exactly.
God.
Exactly. And that's why they wouldn't do it, because it's not cost feasible. And I mean, it makes sense because you're making two different games. Why not release the remaster separate on its own for $40 and then do the remake for $60 and then add on the DLC of $100? So, I mean, I get it. It's to make money. So, I mean, gaming companies aren't a charity. So,
yeah, I mean, they're in the end they do have to make money. So, it just kind of it would be cool if they could meet sometimes meet us halfway, you know.
I mean, you can't be like Rare. Rare made great games for a long time, and then, you know, who in the 1990s, in the mid 90s, if you were to say Rare was going to go out of business, you probably would have laughed.
Yeah, like,
because that's like
Rare?
saying, that's like saying that, you know, Activision or somebody like that's going to go out of business. I'm like, you're crazy. You're crazy. They make Call of Duty. They make all these other games, right?
Yeah. Well.
And then
Call of
slowly
Duty's,
they stop making games.
Their cash
that
cow
make
Call
a
of
profit.
Duty is starting to not make them any more cash. We can talk about that on another episode, though.
Yeah, I have my issues with that.
So I think that's
well,
that's about it. I think that should do us for this.
We hit an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, okay. If anybody listening wants to contact us, you can email us at madchatpodcast@gmail.com. But other than that, I think we're done with this one. So, yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Mad Chat with Chad and Matt. Contact us at madchatpodcast@gmail.com and join the Discord to be a part of the community.